Alrighty then, we are back here, Johnny the car painter guy. Today we're going to talk about sanders, okay? Sanding tools. This is a pneumatic sander. I believe it's made by 3M. I'm not sure. It's your basic DA dual action sander, right? Very, very common in vehicle painting situations. Prepping the vehicle for paint, you're going to have to sand the vehicle down. This is the tool to use. This is very common in body shops and paint shops. Right? Now, I get a lot of questions about what are the alternatives to this, right? If you don't want to use a compressor all day long, well, there are some options you have. You have the Milwaukee, which is great. Milwaukee offers a DA sander like this, but it's a battery operated, rechargeable. It's about $400 or $500. Extremely great tool. They offer it in two different throw patterns. Um, by that I mean like the oscillation, how much it oscillates. Because the reason why we use these in the body shop is because they're not just variable speed. What do you call it? They don't. The pad itself in the sanding pad does not spin in just in a direct circle. It oscillates goes like that. And all said and done, it gives an even distribution of the sanding scratches. So it's very helpful in terms of getting full coverage of sanding. So get a lot of questions. What are my options here? Well, if you want to go with an electric option, like I said, the Milwaukee, I don't have one, but the Milwaukee DA, it's about the same size as this, except it has a battery pack on the back. I believe it uses the M12 platform. If you're familiar with Milwaukee, you know that that's the smaller size, not the M18, which is the larger size batteries. So it's very convenient, it's very portable, it's very good. It's about $500, I think. Now, if you're not ready to spend that much money and you're kind of just getting started, you're going to think about, oh, well, I could just go get DA sander from Home Depot or Harbor Freight or whatever. And yeah, you could do that, but you tend to have you have higher RPMs on those. And what you're going to end up doing is you're just going to burn the paint. You're going to burn through whatever you're sanding down. And you're going to get wavy panels. And you really don't want to, you only want to use the DA up to a certain point, just to knock off the layers to kind of get it as level as you can. Or if you're doing a finishing sanding, which is post paint, which is a totally different subject. I'm talking about pre-paint, prepping for paint. But another option you have, and I'm just going to say this right now, a lot of people may hate on it. It is heavy, but out of all the DA sanders random orbital sanders I've used, you go to Home Depot, you're going to find one that's a 5-inch disc, right? So this is a 6-inch disc, very standard for body shops. That sanding disc pad is 6 inches in diameter from one side to the other, right? The sandpaper disc. Okay. That sandpaper disc, you can use a standard 5-inch one, but I'm not going to recommend that. Right? So what I'm going to recommend, since you want to use a 6-inch, right? It's a 6-inch diameter right there, right? So I like hook and loop because you can reuse it, meaning like the Velcro pads. I don't like the stick-it ones so much. I do like the stick-it ones when I'm doing block sanding. So for a long block, I'll stick this on there. It's good, But I mean, again, I would prefer Velcro because it's more reusable. So what product are we talking about today, guys? It's this bad boy right here. You can get it at Home Depot for about $100. Okay, you see this thing? This is a 6-inch dual action random orbital sander. Very, very good tool. Very, very good tool for the body shop. I think preferably over any other sander that they offer at those types of home improvement stores. If you're just trying to get something just to buzz the car down and you want a good, smooth, even finish, this tool is great. Okay, it's a great tool. It has a vacuum bag, good long cord. It's got your 6-inch diameter disc on there, so it's good for the car paint industry. But what I like about this is it offers two different throw patterns. You have 1/8. You hit the button there, boom, and then you can get the 1/4. So see right there, it says 1/4. I don't know if you can see that or not, but yep. 1/4, and so basically you get a larger throw pattern, bigger circle. And it's very quiet. It's got a nice handle on it. It is heavy. It's definitely a heavy tool. Don't get me wrong. But the way that it's set up is it's got that big long handle here in the base. Got your, you can set it to auto, whatever. You got the variable. Oh yeah, you got the variable speed, so you can go from A, B, C, D, E, think it stops at C, D, E, F. Yeah, F is like freaking high. Yeah, I don't know what that means, but F is the highest you can go on it, and it's very, very, very user friendly. You can keep a good, solid, straight panel on the vehicle. The sanding, and I'm gonna show you here how quiet it is. It's not really loud. You don't have to hear a compressor wailing the whole day. If you have a shop with a limited compressor usage, But here. That's not how loud it is right there. If you see right here, look. It's very hard to see until it slows down. See how it's kind of wobbling, looking like it's wobbling a little bit? That's that throw pattern I'm talking about, right? So I'm gonna do a bigger throw pattern. And that's B, right? That's on A, B, second level up. You can take it to the highest level if you want, and this is gonna be a good sanding experience for you. All right, so that is a tool that just until recently I found. I thought, you know what, those things are good for nothing. Those random orbital sanders that they sell at Harbor Freight and Home Depot, 5-inch ones, you can use them, but they're just going to tear through your body filler. They're going to tear through your paint. It's just going to be a bad mess, and you're going to end up having to put more product on, more materials wasted, and at the end of the day, the finish is not going to come out right. Now, like I said, you're not going to use these types of tools all the way to paint. Like, by that I mean, like, you're not gonna sand the car all the way till you paint it with this thing. You're gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way with the hands. I don't care who you are, what you got. You may have the best technology in the world, Hutchins, whatever, Mirka. You may be like, say it's the best of the best, right? But your best bet to get a straight panel is to use sanding blocks, sanding blocks, sanding blocks. And there's different types of sanding blocks out there. You have stuff like, this sanding block is a great sanding block. I like this one because it's got this adjustable center, right? So if you have a curved panel, you're gonna see that this is gonna start bowing outwards, right? You see that? So it's bowing outwards as it tightens up. Yeah. So now you're not just a straight little block. You got yourself a nice curved angled block, right? See how it's bowed up? And then, opposite of that, you can do it the other way, and it's going to start making it a concave sanding block, right? And that's for those curved surfaces, or not as straight. But yeah, you're going to get a straight sanding surface. You have that. You have your traditional, Durablocks. Those are great blocks. I like Durablocks because they come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. These guys, I'm talking about these. This is my little go-to block right here. This is a great little block. Very hard, rigid, durable, and it's good for all sorts of things. You can keep a really, really straight panel with that. There are air file sanders. Those are great too. Those are good for knocking large surfaces off, like hoods and door panels and stuff like that. It's good for chopping the body filler if you do use some. Yeah, it's just a matter of preference. As you get into this industry and you start learning little tips and techniques and all that stuff, you're gonna start finding what works for you. There's not a exact way that gets you to the right results. There's many different ways to get to the right results. You can get a straight panel by doing several different things differently. It's just a matter of the individual that's using these tools and how well they're using them, and if they're using them correctly. Not trying to cut corners. That's a big no-no. You can speed things up by taking shortcuts, but as long as they're effective shortcuts, not skipping out over things like let's say you want to just forego the primer step, right? And so you just go ahead and straight to paint. Well, that's a shortcut. Sure, yeah, you're gonna cut down your time on the whole job because you're not gonna apply the primer and sand it down properly. So what's gonna happen is you're not gonna have a good result because you have to put primer down before you paint, unless you have an old solid surface to work on. It's a whole different subject we'll go into later. But cutting corners is not always the best solution. Finding what works for you and doing it fast and effectively is the best technique, I think. So if you want my opinion, it's just find what works for you. Make sure that it's not ineffective in terms of you you get what I'm saying or no? I think it's pretty straightforward. Don't start creating your own monsters for yourself. Don't go creating these own techniques that are just ridiculous. Like I saw a guy just put on this much thick of body filler, because he wanted to take a shortcut. He didn't want to just pull the metal out of the panel the right way. He didn't want to take the door panel off of the damn vehicle and actually work the metal outwards. He just put on Bondo, and then he just sanded it down to level, and it looked from the first couple door closes. It looked like there's nothing wrong with the door until you slammed it a couple times, and then it starts cracking. And by that time, the customer's already long gone, and they're unhappy now because their door paint is just completely messed up. But he did a good job of making it look like it was right, and it wasn't. And what happens there is an unhappy customer. They tell about a bunch of people about you, and then you don't have any business in the future. And it's better to have no bad customers than one bad customer, because a bad customer can do a lot of damage to your business. They can talk a lot of crap about you, and you know what? It's not worth it. Trust me. Take the time to do the job right, and you'll see the reward for it. Maybe not initially, but you will. I promise. Over time, people will talk about your business. They'll talk about your workmanship, and you got to be proud of what you do in life. You see all that black all over my face? Yeah, that's the guide coat. That's that guide coat we talked about in the other video. Yeah, that stuff is a mess, I'll tell you that. It's all over me. Don't wear a white shirt. This shirt used to be white, but I did too much guide coat with it, so it's a black shirt. Anyway, subscribe if you like my channel. I'm sorry if I bored you. If you have any comments or questions, go ahead and ask them in the comment section below. I'll try and keep up with it. Like I said, I'm new at this, so I'm going to do my best to start perfecting my video shooting and different stuff to make it more effective for your learning and stuff. Because ideally, at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do here, is to teach you how to do the best job and help you understand the kind of the background of what we're doing here in the paint and body industry. And I'm trying to give you my pointers, because I wish a lot of people had told me a lot of things about this industry and the techniques early on. But I've learned them over time, and glad to know them. It helps save time, and time is money, baby. Remember that. Time is money. So if you save time, you're saving money. All right? Anyways, yeah. Any questions, ask them down below. If you have any recommendations or any criticism, I'd like that too. I love criticism. Just go easy on me. I'm not trying to have haters or nothing. I just want to. If you don't like my videos, that's fine. Just go to the next one. It's fine. But if you have something constructive to say, go for it. I like to hear constructive criticism. Have a good day. We'll see you in the next video, alright? Paint mixing, I think, is where we're going to go next. Man, I look all like black-eyed and stuff, but it's just a guide coat all over me. Have a good one. Alright, happy Friday.